My name is William Sasha Riley. I was born Manuel Sasha Barros, but my legal name is William Sasha Riley at this time.
Okay. Tell me everything that you've been wanting to say. Testimony, getting your testimony of what you experienced, what abuse you suffered, and what you were witness to.
I am for whatever puts a light on this, because in my mind, the powers that be are already aware of my position on it and aware that I have spoken up. And, you know, the more light that is shed on there, I don't think that I'm incurring more risk, except for some maybe lunatic that wants to be a soldier for Donald Trump. I don't mind whatever would bring a little bit more light to this, particularly the stuff, if we can get some of this stuff verified, you know. And I know that me speaking up is one thing, but then the verification process, you know, is important too. I am confident that it's there because somebody that I served with in the Army got put out of the Army. My chain of command talked to me and they said, hey, you know, some of these images, some of the films or whatever that he had looked just like you. And that was the first time I think I had ever talked to anybody about having done those films. And I told them, yes, when I was a child, I had to do those things.
Woo, boy! There are some explosive, and when I say explosive, I really mean explosive allegations being made against our president, our current president, Donald John Trump, the 34-time felon. I'm only belling with the 34-time felons, and many others in our government. He is a decorated Iraq war veteran named Sasha Riley. Now, again, all of his, let me just say this before we get started. There's going to have to be a trigger warning, or even some sort of warning if you are a sensitive person, or if you got kids around. These allegations, some of them are very harrowing and very disturbing. Not for children. I'm sorry, most of them don't need to hear this. But there is a very decorated Iraq war veteran whose name is Sasha Riley, who is publicly claiming to have been trafficked as a child in the Jeffrey Epstein criminal enterprise. And in his detailed testimony, he is naming some of the most powerful figures in American politics, including Donald Trump, Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas, and Republican congressmen. Now, again, these are all allegations, so don't sue me and don't come and kill me and my family. I'm just saying. Don't blow up my car. This is all allegations. That's all they are, just allegations. These unverified allegations were published on Substack by researcher Lisa Noel Volding, who also posted hours of her interview with Sasha Riley. Now, obviously, the mainstream media is not going anywhere near most of these claims, not just because they're unverified, because the implications are just so disturbing. What's being alleged is that Riley is saying that he was adopted in 1977 specifically for the purpose of being trafficked by a man named William Kyle Riley, who allegedly worked as a pilot and trafficker within the Epstein network. He claims that he was trafficked from the ages of 9 to 13 within this ring, and to relatives starting around age 6. He actually names names of perpetrators. He says he is willing to testify against Donald Trump, against Andy Biggs, against Jim Jordan, against Senator Lindsey Graham, and Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas. The testimony includes descriptions of being forced to perform in child pornography films, including, he alleges, a snuff film in which he witnessed a girl being shot and killed during the filming. After another shoot, he recalls hearing gunshots from another room When he showed fear, that he said the perpetrator told him, "Don't worry, boys are hard to find." On Clarence Thomas specifically, his testimony is chilling. He said, "Seeing Clarence Thomas there really stood out, but what cements that in my brain is the celebration my dad had when he got confirmed to the Supreme Court, and how excited he was to have a person as high as the Supreme Court that was involved in all of it as sort of a buffer." So this is what he had to say about Clarence Thomas.
I think that's the case with a lot of the Republicans you mentioned. Like you said, Clarence Thomas and Lindsey Graham were at these parties. You can't remember if Lindsey Graham and Clarence Thomas participated. And it's sort of a question of, did they participate? Were they blackmailed because they were there, attended the parties, but they didn't participate? Can you tell me much more about Clarence Thomas and Lindsey Graham?
I know the least about him. The only reason that I can remember him is because he was a black man. And I'm sorry, but that club is pretty much just white folks. So having a black person there was very unusual. So he stood out. But the only thing that I can really say is that I remembered him being there, and then I remember what a big deal it was in our household when he got confirmed onto the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
Because my dad was excited about that because of how high up he was. Now, I can't swear. I may have been assaulted by Clarence Thomas, but I cannot swear to that. If he did assault me, then it was not to the level of something that scared me to the point where I needed to remember it, if that's a good way to put that, which Trump rose to that, and Andy Biggs rose to that, and Jim Jordan rose to that because he was dangerous to me, because I could keep most people away from me with my fists, but, you know, he was a good wrestler, so, you know, he scared me in that sense that this is a person that I can't, you know, that I can't keep away from me with my fists. Lindsey Graham, I am fairly sure he has assaulted me, but I just can't put my hand on a Bible and swear to that.
Yeah.
You know, I know that he was there. I can remember it. He just like Jim Jordan, he has very distinct mannerisms, and his voice is a little unusual as well. So I could remember his voice, I could remember his mannerisms, and then obviously how he looks. So I can put him there, but I just can't. I can't say he did this or he did that exactly. I just can't.
Okay.
Sexual perversion that goes on in Washington. I mean, being kind of a young guy in Washington, with the average age of probably 60 or 70. And I look at all these people, a lot of them that I've looked up to through my life. I've always paid attention to politics, guys that, then all of a sudden you get invited to, like, well, hey, we're going to have kind of a sexual get-together at one of our homes. You should come. And I'm like, what did you just ask?
Okay, that was Sasha Riley talking about his experiences having being at basically served up at these parties for some of the most powerful men in the entire world. At the very end there, you heard former GOP representative Madison Cawthorn, who, if you guys remember, was the guy in the wheelchair. Remember the young guy in the wheelchair a few years ago who was in the House who ended up getting voted out? He talked about how he was invited to orgies in Washington, D.C., to do drugs and have orgies in Washington, D.C. about 2 or 3 years ago. And the party basically they washed their hands of him, and he ended up losing his seat. But, Pepperidge Farms remembers. Pepperidge Farms remembers everything. We remember how much he said that they get down with the debauchery in Washington, D.C. But the rest of that was Sasha Riley talking about seeing what he saw at and what he experienced at some of these parties as a young boy, being sex trafficked to some of the some of the most powerful men in the world. I'm sorry. Now, Voldang, who is the researcher, Lisa Voldang, who recorded the testimony herself, she states that she has distributed copies to the police, and has trusted allies in several countries. She also claims corroborating evidence exists, including pornography films, CPS reports, FBI reports on Sasha Riley's father, and a military report involving a court-martial of a soldier found with child pornography, allegedly depicting Riley as a young boy and another victim named Samantha. According to Voldang, she contracted Senator Wyden's office and the House Oversight Committee Democrats' office in September 2025, providing documents, including Riley's testimony to their whistleblower account. She states that her and Riley met with the House Oversight Committee Democrat office aides on September the 19th, 2025, expressing extreme concerns that Trump and his co-conspirators were attempting to escalate criminal activity globally. When the FBI contacted Riley during the summer, Voldang said she moved them out of the country for safety. So these are some extreme accusations being made against some of the most powerful people in the world, including our president. He actually had some more testimony about what he experienced when dealing with Donald Trump. This is very very disturbing interviews about one of the most powerful person in the world.
I can tell you one thing specifically that Trump did, and that I remember vividly. I was exhausted. I couldn't fight back, and he sat on my chest and would choke me until I was unconscious. And each time that he did it, he'd say, "I'm going to kill you." So, and then he would choke me until I was out. And, he did that, half a dozen times or however many times. And I can remember him saying, "I thought I killed you that time. I'm really going to do it this time," and then choke me again. So he would just do that over and over again until he got bored of it.
Wow.
So
did you get the sense that he was trying to kill you, or just to torture you about the thought of killing you?
In the moment, you think you're going to die.
Yeah.
And that's the experience that he wants to see the fear in another human being's eyes that thinks that he's killing him,
Yeah.
But looking back, I just think he was just torturing me. I think had he wanted to kill me, he could have. He could have just kept choking me until I was gone. Because I did get choked until I was unconscious. I don't know, as many as half a dozen times, maybe more.
Wow, that is very disturbing. It's certainly look again. These are completely. Nobody's been charged or convicted of any of these things. But when we talked about last week how the elites have themselves shown that they are willing to exercise immense cruelty on populations of people, like George W. Bush murdering millions of Iraqis under false pretenses. Like, Barack Obama killing countless people in Libya and bringing back chattel slavery to the African continent. Like Donald Trump, what he's helping Israel do, him and Joe Biden, what they've been willing to help Israel do, commit a genocide in Palestine. We've seen that the global elites are willing to exercise great cruelty on a mass scale. So is it really too much to believe that they might be exercising this type of cruelty? I mean, look, man, we just watched ICE murder 2 American citizens, white American citizens, and Donald Trump and his cadre basically said, shouldn't have been protesting, shouldn't have been out there. We know that they are capable of great cruelty. And, unlike many people, I am not a partisan hack. I do not believe that the Republicans or the Democrats have a monopoly on this. As I've stated, I can name you stuff that all of them done, from, Bill Clinton mass incarcerating black people, and going back to when he was the governor of Arkansas and was charged with, or should I say, was accused of raping and sexually assaulting women and all kinds of other things, to Ronald Reagan's callousness about the AIDS crisis. We've seen that these people are willing to be callous to the utmost degree, even against their own people, the American public. Is it really that out of the realm of possibility that behind closed doors, that the cruelty that they show us and indifference that they have to the poor, to the working class, to black people, to immigrants, to whoever, is basically a way of life for these people? And on some level, this might be what it takes for them to get to that upper echelon of power that they're trying to get to. This might be how they are tested by the globalist elites and figuring out whether they are ready to be elevated to these positions of power, if they're willing to be cruel to children, or in this case, cruel to puppies. Like, Sasha wasn't done talking about the cruelty he watched Donald Trump mete out.
One of the first memories that seared itself into my consciousness because of being what I perceived as a threat as a child was watching Donald Trump kill a litter of puppies. He did it in a variety of ways. As I stood there, they made me stand there, and he would harm or kill the puppy and then look to see what my reaction was. And in my child's brain, that registered because I viewed him as somebody more dangerous than my parents, and I knew that they would hurt me. So in my ability to reason, my reasoning was if they were worse people than my parents, that they were somebody that might kill me.
Wow. So that's Sasha Riley saying that, he witnessed Donald Trump kill a litter of puppies to show, again, the level of cruelty he was willing to inflict on a living thing. Again, all unverified. This is stuff that our government has, that the FBI knows about, that the police know about, that there is corroborating evidence for in terms of, unfortunately, videos and everything else. This is bizarre. Let me get this caller. Hello, caller. What's up?
How you doing, young man?
It's all good.
I haven't hear you say about what's her name used to be on with JJ's mother. But she say what? Damn.
Oh yes.
Damn.
Yes.
Hey, we all know people could get a lot of way with a lot of things that they do if they got what?
Money.
What them OJ say about that almighty dollar?
Mm-hmm.
You got, like they're talking about the government, you got a lot of Democrats going right in with a lot of stuff that they doing, getting a little kickbacks or whatever. And as long as these guys are rich and doing what they doing, messing over these people, and what's somebody going to do about it? Take their belt off and whoop them? They rich. They got money. Trump's going to find some kind of way to keep his butt in that office. If he don't, is there, I asked the other day, can he arrange to have the vice president to take over the power and pardon him and the rest of his buddies, and then take that power back over again and come on out of there? He's going to mess around here and arrange where he can continue to start stuff and be as president and won't nobody ever get him out of office. He don't care. When he lost that other election, when he won the first time, he lost it. And what he say? He was mad. I'm going to get all of you all back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's a lot of people that thought that, oh, well, the blacks and Mexicans or whatever are going to get suffer from this. But hey, you see all these jobs that people been losing and carrying on.
Yep.
He ain't just messing with the regulars. He's getting them too. So hey, they got money, and they steady looking over their shoulder. And like they say, everything they done, him, all the rich folks that have been going through this sex, all this crap. You hear it? Ain't nobody gonna do nothing to them about it.
Mm.
So I'm enjoying your show, my man, and you keep it up, okay? Keep up the good work.
Thank you for your call. Again, this is pretty much the first step in finally sort of ripping off the Band-Aid for a lot of people who, again, it may be hard to imagine, but a lot of people did believe in this system at one point and believed that, you know, America was the good guys. But like I always keep telling people, you know who's not on the Epstein list? Putin, Xi Jinping. They're not on the list. Nicolas Maduro, Fidel Castro wasn't on the Epstein list, and neither is Cuba's current leader. None of the people they told you to hate, El Presidente Daniel Ortega, none of them were on the Epstein list trafficking children. You know who's on it? Trump, the Clintons, all the people who've been in our government, the richest billionaire class, the elites, all those people. Those are the people who are on the Epstein files. Xi Jinping ain't on there. Nicolas Maduro wasn't on there. Hugo Chavez wasn't on there. And those are the people they tell you are the most evil leaders and the most evil people in the world. There's a reason they want you to hate those people. Iran ain't, none of the Iranian leaders, the Ayatollah ain't on the list. So why do they have such an interest in making you hate those people when the people running this country are literally bloodthirsty, disgusting, child-abusing, seemingly murderers, and not just on a large scale that all American presidents are murderers, but in terms of even engaging in murder and other things in their personal lives. But they want you to believe Cuba, Venezuela, North Korea, Iran, China, these are the evil places with all the evil people running it. There's a reason they want you to think that. Let me get this other call. Hello, caller. What's up?
Why, good evening. Mr. Scott, how you doing tonight?
It's all good, brother.
Great show.
Thank you.
Hey, I was listening to some of the clips from the hearing where the head of the FBI is basically defending his position, and I watched Bondi for about an hour. Wow, almost makes you want to regurgitate.
Mm-hmm.
With the Epstein thing, that guy really starts out in the 80s,
Mm-hmm.
And he's a math genius, so he gets involved with the Reaganomic new way of looking at the world economics.
Yep.
And so this stuff is so deep, it's almost holy macros, man. You don't even realize it's not just about sex; it's about how that issue is used to basically manipulate people into their cooperation, at least. And listening to there's today, well, I was listening to it's a day or so ago, but in the hearing, there's like 20 victims sitting behind the head of the FBI and asking if they're going to resume their claims, right? Because Epstein's dead and a woman's in jail, been convicted, right? So what's going on? You have all these other crimes that were perpetrated, and the FBI refuses to even look at them.
Yep.
And actually what they release is half of what they have, and they spent, 1,000 men for like a month solid around the clock trying to edit out stuff that might implicate some of the more important people in society.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go away. And I'll come back to your show in September about Powell.
Yes.
And their conversion of what economics really means in America, rather than production, rather than bank debt and manipulation and just legalizing corruption. Actually, what they did, because that's where Citizens United comes from, and contributions are unlimited, really, and they contribute to committees that are formed by the head of the committees who are direct descendants of the Trumpian thing. And yeah, I think we better get out and vote.
Yes. Yes.
You know, and I have to say, with the GOP Dem argument, who's better? Well, guess what? There aren't any leadership in the GOP that's defending the human rights violation or the civil rights violation or the constitutional right violation. No Republicans. There may be two in the whole world. Otherwise, it's only Democrats are leading that challenge. So as far as, are they both two evils? Well, guess what? One of them is willing to slaughter the children and kind of, use people as fodder to make money. And the other ones are at least talking about economics for people. Anyway.
Well, all right, brother.
Appreciate it, bro.
Thank you for your call.
Big up, bro. Big up.
Yes,
big
yes. Up. All right, folks. I do it best to give it to you straight with no chaser. We don't filter here. Well, we filter as much as we can so that the FCC doesn't come after us. But other than that, this is a free speech zone. You could almost say it's a free speech Friday. Yes, you can. So when we get back, we are going to get into some more disturbing news. But this time, are our young people getting dumber? We're really going to take a look at this. And you might be shocked by what studies are saying about young people here in this country. It's all connected to me. I'm just saying. All right, folks, when we get back, we'll get into that. Please stay with us here on WLTH 1370 AM, straight out of the cannon with me, Scott Cannon. That number is 219-885-1371. The number again, 219-885-1371. Stay with us here on the Region's Choice and the People's Voice.